Hi, I'm Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking with my youngest daughter about her Fidelity Youth Account. We're going to be talking about getting started with investing, saving money, and using her debit card. Hi, babes. How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for coming on and talking to me. I've been mentioned you a few times on my channel saying that, now during the summertime, you're going to be getting some of these little lessons. So are you ready?
Yes.
What do you want to start off with? Investing or debit card?
Investing.
Investing. Okay. You have the Fidelity app on your phone. I want you to, next week, Monday through Friday, I want you to invest $4 a day into an ETF. And we're going to look at one together. Have you ever heard me talk about ETF, or do you have a little bit of an understanding of what it is?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me what you think. Well, tell me what you know.
An ETF gives people the opportunity to invest in multiple different companies at the same time with like small percentages instead of giving a big amount to one company.
So, ETF, exchange traded fund, are baskets of securities that may contain hundreds of stocks, bonds, and other products. Now, let's take a quick look at an ETF that I'm going to recommend that you invest into starting out. All right, so this is etfrc.com, and this website gives a lot of detail and does comparisons for you into various ETFs. So this is VTI. VTI is made up of 3,851 holdings across all different types of sectors, like energy, health, real estate. And these are the top 10 holdings: Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. I know you've heard of those, the top three, definitely, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you will get a certain percentage. Apple is the highest, but from here it goes down into smaller percentages into all of the different types of companies, which I said is almost nearly 4,000 companies here. So this is what I want you to get started off with. And then in the future, if after you think about it some more, if you have some individual stocks that you're interested in investing into, you can share that with me and we can take a look and you can invest. And with your account, you can invest as little as $1 at a time. Okay?
Okay.
So your account got started off with $50 that Fidelity gave you. And just for now, for this first time investing, I am asking you to invest 20%. But probably going forward, I'll allow you to invest a smaller percentage.
Okay.
All right? Sound good?
Yes.
Okay, so you have your homework on your investing. And like I said, we can, when you're actually going into the app to do the investment, we can do that together when I'm working from home. All right, so now we're going to talk about debit and credit. So you got a debit card in the mail from Fidelity, which is a part of the Fidelity Youth Account. It comes along with this debit card. And your debit card has a credit card logo on it. It's a Visa. Mm-hmm. So basically, when you go out to the store, you're going to be able to use it anywhere that any store that would take a regular credit card, they will accept your card the same. They will accept your debit card the same way. That's the good thing about having the credit card logo on your card. A debit card is actually using the money that you have in your account. So you have to be mindful of how much money you have in your account, because that's all you can spend.
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to draw directly from your account, and you have the app. You can go in there. If you do use your debit card, you'll need to be going in there and seeing what your current balance is. All right, now let's talk a little bit about credit. Credit is basically borrowing money with a promise to pay it back. It's getting a credit line, a loan from the company. So they would, for example, say you get approved for your credit card. They'll say, well, here's a credit card. You have $1,000 limit, and we're going to give you a 14% interest rate. So that's allowing you to potentially go out and spend $1,000. But if you don't pay back that $1,000 before the due date, you then have to pay interest monthly on whatever balance you're carrying. So this is something that I ran into a lot of debt with, and many adults, most adults that you probably know, family, friends, everybody has probably got into some trouble with credit card debt, that they spent too much, or they started spending more than they could afford to pay back, or they started using their credit card without the intention of even being able to pay it off in full, and not get into carrying the balance and running into interest over and over and over again. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why the face?
So why would they do that?
Because you want things that basically don't fit into your budget. So if you want to go on, Shein and buy some clothes, and you want to go to Six Flags, and you want to do all these things, but your earnings could not allow you to afford to do all those things in the same month.
Can you go to jail for not paying back your money?
Jail? I don't know how far things would have to get before you'll wind up in jail. But what you will wind up doing is ruining your credit score, and making things hard for yourself. But that is fraud. If you use this money, you're doing it with the intention that you will pay it back.
Yes.
Whether you're paying it back at the slow rate of, say, they send you the bill and they say, well, your minimum payment is $40, even though you might have $500 on the card, they're not going to ask for $500. They're going to ask you $30, $40. That's your minimum payment. So as long as you pay that, then you're keeping up with the bill.
Okay.
And they don't want you to pay the whole bill. They want you to run into having to pay interest and it lingering and making them more money. Do you get it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. This is bad stuff. Don't do this.
I'm not hearing it. It's kind of just like, if you know you can't pay back the $100,000, then why are you spending $100,000?
$100,000? No, you're talking about a condo or something.
Someone's probably done it.
Yes, they do. They do crazy things like that. All right. So credit is borrowing money, like I said, with the intent and promise to repay. Now, you mentioned something about credit score. Why is a credit score important?
Because it shows when you buy a car or a house or anything important that you're going to be able to pay it off, and you have the kind of integrity to be able to keep giving them what they need in order for you to have what you need.
Okay, so it shows that you've had the proper behavior and actions, that you have a good credit score number.
Yes, and if your credit is low, that's going to be able to prevent you from getting a car or a house or whatever you can use that requires good credit.
Okay, so let's talk about, with credit, what I want for you. I want you to, you're not there yet because I have not given you a credit card yet. You only have your debit card. But when we get to credit, I want you to pay off your balance every month. I want you to be prepared for when large expenses occur. You have to have savings to cover the larger expenses. You've probably seen me run into a problem like my car broke down, or I have a plumbing issue or electrical issue. Those are larger bills that I put on my credit card, but then I have to have savings available so that I can pay it off in full, because it's always my goal to pay the item off, to pay the charges off in full and not carry them month to month. Okay?
Yes.
All right. So what's up?
When I get a job, that was one of my plans, to either talk to you or someone else in the family that could help me with having a portion to be separate and a portion for me to be able to spend and use freely, because I want to be able to have money just in case.
So that's what I really like about the Fidelity Youth Account, is that it's not just about you learning how to invest. it came with the debit card. So it got us into the conversation of money management. I'm already talking to you about credit cards. You're going to get a credit card soon. So it's everything, and definitely savings, investing, and spending your money. I want you to be responsible and have an understanding and a plan for everything that you're going to do. Another thing I want to mention to you about credit, like I said, in our hypothetical scenario here, you have $1,000 credit line. You can't, most people, they're spending too high to what their limit is. That's your credit utilization. So even though you have $1,000 credit limit, you shouldn't be trying to spend $1,000. You should try to spend $300, $400 so that you're not maxing out your credit card. Have you ever heard that expression?
Yes, I think that I understand why a lot of people do have problems, because they see that amount and they're thinking to themselves, I can spend this $1,000, but they're not considering when they're gonna have to pay that.
Well, you should, and that's why we're talking about this, because you have to know, if you know your earnings, you know your earnings. That's why another thing that we're going to be working on is budget. So you know how much money you have available to you.
Yes.
So, and I know there has to be entertainment. We all want to go to VR and have a good time and go out to dinner, but we have to know what we can afford to do and what we can afford to pay at what pace and at what rate we can afford to pay our bills. So if we're going on vacation, you have to save for that vacation, or you have to have a plan of what time frame can you pay for the vacation in full, because you don't want to go to vacation this year and next year your credit card is still having the charges from last year's vacation on it. This is what happens to people. Let's talk about some ways that you can be on track to create a good credit score for yourself. Do you have any idea of behavior that will help you to have a good credit score?
Being able to show that you can do what you're promising.
Okay, so having a job.
Yes.
Having income. Yes. Anything else you can think of?
You're making money. I have my credit. Maybe I get my credit card within the next few years. I start using my credit card. They give me a limit. I pay my limit before it's due, and that will benefit my credit score.
Okay, definitely always have to pay on time. Yes. Your length of payment history is something that will also help you, meaning the length of time that they can see that you have credit, that helps to build your score over the years. However, like my credit score goes back many, many years. And I'm trying to create that for you already by having you on my credit card so that you're already getting years that's going to show against your name because I have your name on my credit card. All right. So the length of history, as I just mentioned, 30% of the available credit, meaning you don't have your credit card all the way up to the limit.
Right.
These are things that are going to help you to have a good credit score in the future. Having different types of activity, like once you get older, you might have a home loan, you might have to get a car loan. It would be great if you could even do the car without having to get a loan, but that takes a lot of saving. And another thing that pulls down your credit score is inquiries against your credit. Meaning, like, you ever notice we go to Old Navy or we go to certain stores and they're like, would you like to open an account?
Right.
Yeah. So that would be an inquiry. If I say, yeah, I want to try to apply, that would be an inquiry against my credit. So I have to be mindful about, do I really want this credit card? Do I want that impact against my credit score?
Right.
And I really don't have the need to open, because another thing, store cards have very high interest rates. Do you understand what I mean by interest rate? The percentage.
Yeah, the percentage.
Yeah. So, all right. So I think that's about it for today, into getting a little bit of an understanding of debit card versus credit card. And you have your assignment on doing your investments. What is your investments?
I need to spend $4 a day starting Monday, and that'll be 20% of my current amount in my Fidelity account.
Okay, so you're going to invest $4 daily. VTI?
VTI.
VTI. If you would like to look at a different ETF, we could look at it. But this is my recommendation, okay?
Okay.
All right. So what do you think?
What do I think about what?
What do you think about this conversation today? What do you think about today's class?
I think that this was a good conversation, and I'm ready to have more.
Okay. I want you to be responsible.
I will.
And really, one of the biggest things that I want you to do is try not to put yourself into debt. You know, credit card debt, loans, any type of loans, student loans. I want you to be responsible and not have to be like me and many adults having to, what happens is once your credit is ruined, you have to dig yourself out of debt. You have to try to improve your credit score, but if you start off, doing your best from the beginning, you'll never have to go through that. All right?
All right.
Is there anything else that you want to learn more about with investing, or do you have any questions?
I don't know yet.
You don't know? All right. Well, you keep thinking about it.
Okay.
And as you have questions, you know me, your big sister, there are people here that can help you and guide you and hopefully help you to do better than what we did and not go through all the mistakes. You don't have to go through all the mistakes, especially stuff like this. This is not fun. I know there's some mistakes that people make that at least are fun. Credit card debt is not even fun.
I'm not interested in credit card debt.
Okay. So that's it for today. So far, I think Fidelity Youth Account is a great way to teach your child. It has, opened up a lot of conversation, and it's going to give her the opportunity to actually invest before the age of even, this for ages 13 to 17. So they can hands-on invest, and you can guide them and watch them and see how they're doing with their money and teach them. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. And maybe towards the end of the summer, we'll come back with another update.